How is your London, Ontario home really being discovered? Hey, it's Ryan Hodge, broker owner here at the Realty firm, and Sandra and myself have been operating inside of London, Ontario real estate for nearly 20 years. And while a lot has changed, much has stayed the same in terms of how to properly get a property out to the masses. And I'm going to explain a little bit about that through this video. So most people know me from the standpoint of operating inside of London, Ontario real estate, being involved in thousands of real estate transactions. You may know that I own the Realty firm. We have over 100 licensed professionals in the province of Ontario, marketing to many, many different folks in multiple markets inside of our province. And as a broker owner, I've also been fortunate to take some of the things that I've learned along the way to train agents all over North America, even into Europe. I did a keynote speech in Poland about 8-9 years ago now. And so I've been around the block when it comes to training and development. When you look at the element of discoverability, what I want to share is that while many of the practices that real estate agents have had over the years is still relevant today, there's been lots of changes. And one of the things, if you're interviewing agents, is to really understand that. How is your property actually going to be found? So let's dispel a couple myths right now. And I'm going to give you two myths that, number one, it's not that we don't apply, but maybe not for the reasons that you think. So first of all, let's talk about open houses, okay? Open houses have historically been done by many, many real estate agents every weekend, sometimes during the week. But the typical open house times are going to be Saturday or Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's why you see every weekend real estate agents early in the morning putting their signs out, putting riders, is what we call them, on top of their for sale sign, marketing an open house. And the agent's going to host an open house. Maybe they're going to have some treats for people that visit, and they are going to have people come into the property. The challenge is that ultimately what many people don't understand, in particular the general public, is that open houses are really designed more for agents to attract more business than to actually sell a property. And I've done other videos on open houses in the past, but it's not to say that they can't sell or the property won't sell from an open house, but it's really, really rare. Typically with open houses, you're going to get nosy neighbors, or you're going to get weekend hobbyists, people that drive around and they just like checking out homes, and that's cool. Or you're going to get people that are actually interested in buying real estate, but they're probably not quite ready yet. And the reason that I say that is that they are not shopping with a licensed professional, or if that professional just send them into the open house without showing it with them, that's not great either. And so agents will host open houses, they will meet people as they come through, and typically some of those people that aren't working with an agent, there may be a rapport that's developed, and sure enough, they will start working with the agent that's selling the open house or selling the house that they're holding open. But they're not usually going to sell that house, because somebody that's just coming in fresh to an open house is typically not going to be properly qualified for financing, or they're just getting started, which is why they're not booking private showings with their agents. And so open houses, although there's an element of discoverability, it's really not the key way. It's the same thing as print marketing. I mean, years ago, we had multiple different magazines that were distributed in grocery stores, in office environments, out in the boxes that you would see, and I think some of them still exist. But these are means for real estate agents to advertise themselves more than just a listing. And the reason that I'm going to say this, you must agree, if you're watching this video, that 99% of all homeowners start their home search online, okay? So if we can agree to that, we can move to the next part of this video as to how are people actually finding their agent online. More importantly though, how are they finding real estate and London, Ontario homes for sale online? So when an agent lists a property, they are typically going to have a media package done with photos, floor plans, videos, maybe some drone, maybe the agent speaking to the video a little bit. And from there, it's going to be distributed. Now, what I found is that most agents will take that information, they will put it onto their local MLS. So for us here in London, Ontario, we are part of PropTX, which is the MLS system that is actually configured with part of the Toronto Real Estate Board. Now, we're still the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors, but many, many boards across Ontario have joined up with PropTX. PropTX and that MLS is automatically going to distribute the listing to Realtor.ca, which is still the number one real estate portal that the general public will go on. And so if an agent is sending their client listings, they're going to send them from their system. If the general public is just actively looking online, they're probably going to see the listing on Realtor.ca. Now, there's a couple other portals that they may explore, but usually after that, maybe the agent has their own website. They're going to put it there. And then they're going to do what I call vanity posting. They're going to vanity post the listing on their own social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. These are the likes of the agents promoting themselves. And I'll be honest, like all agents, we have to be very good at self-promotion. It's how we generate business. But what we need to explore is where else can somebody discover a home? I'm going to suggest, number one, that a website needs to be heavily optimized for search engine optimization, which means all of the places that people can search. A real estate agent must have a website that is SEO optimized. And now today, in this new environment of tech, it has to be geo-optimized as far as AI. Large language models search through the web very, very specifically in terms of the information that it is seeking that will allow an AI model such as ChatGPT, such as Google's Gemini, such as Claude, such as Grok, such as Perplexity to find listings and agents. Most real estate agents right now are not using AI, number one, whatsoever. And number two, those that do, they're using it more to do what the general public does. When we go on to something like ChatGPT, we're searching, we're doing research, we're having conversation, but we're not really focused on discoverability. As part of one of my unique value propositions, I own a company as well called Selling Toolz. And Selling Toolz has been around for nearly 20 years as a real estate tech company. We have a full team of developers that are Google and Meta experts that know a lot about website optimization and how a real estate agent can have a really healthy foundation so that it can be discovered. I've gotten millions of impressions on my London, Ontario real estate website, www.ryanandsandra.ca over the years. But with this new form of tech, we're finding that AI and the way that we are building information into our website is being much more discoverable by the language models such as ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, all of these other ones. And so it's really, really important that you know that there are multiple ways beyond what the traditional agent is doing with tech to really get your listing out there. And I think that these are important conversations to have because, you know, it's important for an agent to always be evolving. Why is that? Because the real estate landscape and our environment is always evolving. We have to be able to adapt and change. I don't think that AI is necessarily going to eliminate the real estate agent, but I do feel that agents that are not learning AI and learning it appropriately are going to be left in the dust in very, very short order. The rapid pace of tech is really advancing. And so what we're finding is that a lot of people now are finding us on these AI language models. And if we didn't have the foundation of our tech through my company, through our Meta and Google experts, through AI research, our properties would not be nearly as discoverable. And these are the conversations that you should be having with your real estate agent. You know, how are they being discovered on these platforms? And I want you to think about it. You may not be an early adopter of things like ChatGPT, but I know for myself, oftentimes when I'm doing research, I'm not just going to Google to research something. I'm often pulling up ChatGPT or Claude or some of these other platforms, and that's where I'm actually doing my search. These are the ways that we are taking our listings to position them everywhere to the masses. These are the ways that we're getting them in front of more out-of-town buyers, whether it's the GTA, which is crucial, by the way, in this market. Your agent needs to be marketing your property to the Toronto area, along with all of the other markets across Ontario and even the country. And we're getting really key questions and insights from a lot of the people that are finding us on these platforms. So my question to you about discoverability is important, because when you're hiring a real estate professional and you're paying them a substantial amount of money to get the home sold, you want to make sure that every step of the way your home is discoverable, from the local MLS to getting onto other websites, key domains that are going to be found, and having an AI searchable platform that all of these other tech channels are going to pull from to find your home. Because the person that gets the most eyeballs and the most views on your home, and views are important on things like YouTube, which obviously you're watching this, so we are very, very active on YouTube. The person that gets the most eyeballs is usually going to be the one that wins if you've got a great house, if it's priced reasonably well, and we're having tremendous success with this. So I wanted to share a little bit about discoverability today. I know some of the stuff with tech can be a little bit overwhelming. I find that too, but I think it's important that if we want to keep our homeowners satisfied, and we want to make sure that your home is broadcast to anybody and everybody that might be starting their search online, we need to be relevant, we need to be in the know, and we need to be evolving with the technology that exists to us. Sandra and I are very, very proud of what we've created in the London, Ontario real estate environment. We are proud that we have the honor and the privilege of having had the opportunity to really get entrenched in the tech side of things with my other company, Selling Toolz, so that we can really, really support London, Ontario homeowners in selling their properties, being ahead of the curve with all things tech and AI. If you have any questions at any time, or you want to chat about anything London, Ontario real estate related, by all means, reach out to me. You can always get me at www.ryanandsandra.ca, or give me a call on my direct line, 519-859-5408. And if you do enjoy this content, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Our mission here in London, Ontario real estate is to serve you and support you before, during, and way beyond the sale. And we look forward to hearing from you real soon.